Hi, I'm Rogerson. I am the strategist of SM5 Robotics, and today we're gonna do a review on the most recent April CMARCC competition that we participated in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. So this is our first time designing a proper 1 pound robot that used wheels instead of like shufflers, and we weren't able to use any weight boost whatsoever. We chose this because Fitchburg has a unique rule set where there are no weight boosts granted for different types of locomotion. And because this was our first doubleheader ever, which was in direct conflict with WPI's D-term internal competition, our team decided to split into two temporarily, with myself, Lucy, and Ashley representing the team to Fitchburg. Designing a new bot entirely in the middle of the season might seem like a weird move at first, but this actually comes with the benefit that it helps us understand what it's like as a competitor in plant without any weight boost whatsoever. And so this actually kind of gives us like a better in-depth understanding of the baseline rule set with no modifiers whatsoever. Our response to this unique rule set is that we came up with Pac-Man, which actually has many similarities to Funky Kong in the sense that they both have top-down symmetry, meaning that if they get flipped upside down, their behavior is largely the same but reversed. We did this in order to capitalize on our bidirectional ESC, which gives us the capability to spin up our weapon in two different directions instead of one. The main twist with Pac-Man, however, is that it's one, significantly lighter, and two, it's significantly shorter with a much lower profile compared to Funky Kong. So Pac-Man's design came with a lot of promise and like a lot of stuff we could experiment. However, less than 2 hours into the competition, our experiment with Pac-Man brought immediate results, most of which aren't exactly positive. To start, within our first fight in round 1 against Planet Icarus, it was pretty obvious that we had a major design flaw which was found out like 2 seconds into the fight. Said flaw turns out to be our upper plate, which is used to hold onto our electronics all together in one place. The problem is that it was a bit too thin, it was a bit too thin near the counter bore area, which held where we used plastic screws to fasten it. When we went against a much taller robot like Icarus, we got hit in the top plate and it just peeled, the entire piece just like peeled off, and our electronics were shown to the whole world. So that's obviously a very big vulnerability, in that if we continue fielding this bot with that kind of upper plate, it's pretty likely that we might suffer like huge losses. We were lucky that Planet Icarus stopped when our electronics were already exposed, and that none of our like expensive components were hit. And then another unfortunate issue we ran into during Fitchburg is that when we were waiting for the losers bracket fights to begin, we were waiting for our opponent to repair his entire bot for 2 hours and 45 minutes straight, during which we really didn't do anything productive, and we forgot to do like a rundown of like whether the bot is working. And it turns out by the time we got to fight our round 2 opponent, Jace, we had a disconnected wire on our left drive motor, and we had a couple like disconnected wires in like I think the drive ESC, and then we didn't have enough time to repair by then because we waited for almost 3 hours, so we had to forfeit. The good news, however, is we found out that Pac-Man, while having very, very bad steering issues, is surprisingly nimble. We managed to outrun Planet Icarus a little bit. Like I think we managed to weave past their like weapon charge like once or twice, until like we kind of got stuck in a corner because like we're veering left, and they just got us. So what we've learned from this competition is that, one, we might need to revise the existing design for Pac-Man, obviously. We also might need to do a few more pitbox tests in between rounds, just to make sure our bot is in perfect working condition. But I think this could be corrected with a little bit more experience in the team, because after all, it hasn't even been 6 months since this team has been founded, and it's also the first time we ran in like a split team format for the first time with like less crew members than usual. So with experience, we can get things back together. And then on a final note, I think our Pac-Man's driver Lucy didn't know that. I think when we were inspecting electronics after our loss against Planet Icarus, we were kind of manhandling the electronics, so that might have broken a couple of things. So we just have to be a bit more careful with that, to not let our like adrenaline take over. And that's all. Thank you very much for tuning into this review.